Hello, and welcome to coverage of custom standard casual matches. This is Caillou, and today we're going to be watching a match between FrogMaker, who's on Jund Aristocrats, and TemporalFuzz, who seems to be on their Jund Expels deck. So FrogMaker's deck is essentially standard aristocrat-y type deck, which has like some mid-range elements. It also has a backdoor infinite combo using Whoopip Wanderer and the Black Contra and a sack outlet. Meanwhile, TemporalFuzz's deck seems to be a standard Jund deck. Plays control and ends up like ramping up into huge epics in order to win the game. So basically, the game starting with both players playing their tapped lands. When you're playing a three-color deck matchup, it's not like the speed at the start is going to be incredibly slow because both players are just trying to like set up their colors, make sure they have what they need to be able to play their spells. So turn 3, we're finally getting the first play of the game. FrogMaker is going to Zulith Rites for Into the Lion's Den. Interesting. I don't know what FrogMaker will grab here. I think Epic of Anku, Epic of the Lovers are both like really scary, but they take a while to set up. Meanwhile, Out of Date, if FrogMaker ever draws into a threat, kind of just insta kills it. Probably Epic of the Lovers, because I don't know, because Epic of the Lovers and Epic of Anku do very similar things, but Epic of the Lovers does allow Fuzz to set up for an even bigger Epic of Anku. Probably Epic of the Lovers because it shoots phase. It has card selections. Yeah, and FrogMaker is going to take Epic of the Lovers. So Fuzz just keeps top decking into lands, but also on the other hand, I don't think that Fuzz minds that much because Fuzz is aiming to play the long game with lots of these epics. So, anyways, FrogMaker playing Minister of Zealots. I think probably TemporalFuzz will out of date this at the start of combat, which will make the Minister essentially just ping TemporalFuzz for 1. And yep, chooses to out of date the Minister. Oh yeah, and does it at the end of May. Can you even do that? End of main 1? Well, it does it anyways, and kills the Minister before combat can even happen. And draws into yet another land. So FrogMaker doesn't know it, but even though FrogMaker is down to 1 card in hand, FrogMaker has exactly as much gas as TemporalFuzz does. Though next turn, Fuzz might just crack this epic to be able to draw 3 cards and just refill their hand. Oh no, but FrogMaker has another Into the Lion's Den and is able to grab the Epic of Anku. So now it's just down to Fuzz is down to 4 lands in hand and 4 lands in play, and draws a 5th land. Really needed that Epic of Anku to be able to refill his hand right there, but just doesn't get it. Meanwhile, FrogMaker top decking to an Acidic Slime. That's exactly what you want to see. Can't cut Fuzz off of a color right here, but can try and like maybe cut off one of their double, and you can't even cut double off one of the colors. So I guess just destroy one of the lands anyways. Okay, taking out the Eerie Bayou. And now has a 10-turn clock. Oh, an Epic of Jabaya is so good here. Because now Fuzz can play Epic of Jabaya for X equals 2, blow up both of the Into the Lion's Den, and grab back both of his epics. Next turn, probably Epic of the Lovers for like, 4. And then just discard all the lands in his hand to draw into more gas while also pinging the Acidic Slime. And FrogMaker just top decks into another land. It's just like a land fest. I know 3-color decks definitely have more lands than usual, Ooh, it's going to Epic of Jabaya, pump up the acidic slime. Actually, not a bad idea because it gets to pump it up to a 6, to a 6/6. Which, let's see, how much mana will Fuzz need to be able to kill this acidic slime? Would need 8 mana, and Fuzz is nowhere close to that, and top decks into another land. Yeah, I'm not sure what Fuzz can do here. Just play a land. Yeah, and even drawing cards increases the clock on Fuzz, so I'm not sure. Yeah, and is forced to just move on. Ooh, and FrogMaker. Now FrogMaker is hitting gas. These are just more and more creatures. Of course, Epic of Anku can take out Razorfine, so maybe that's why FrogMaker isn't playing it. But I think FrogMaker should play this. No, I don't think I agree with this. Because, okay, so now it's going to Epic of the Lovers for... Okay, 2 treasures. And does that let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll have enough to do Epic of Anku X2. And then deal 8 damage to each creature and then kill the acidic slime, basically. So actually, I guess that's why FrogMaker didn't play Razorvine Abomination, even though playing it assuming that Fuzz didn't have any, like if FrogMaker didn't have hand knowledge of Fuzz, playing Abomination would be the right call there because FrogMaker would kill Fuzz next turn. And Fuzz just going straight into so much gas here. My God. Farseek, Epic of Jabaya, the Epic of Anku, Lazar's Altar. Probably right now just plays Epic of Anku, deals 8 damage to each creature. Is also, wait, how much mana is that? That's 1, 2, 3. So we're actually doing it for X equals 3. So it can also draw a card. Yeah, it's going to draw. Yeah, that's just stabilization right there. It is dangerous to put yourself so low on life, but I could see it. Okay, hitting a Vibrant Rapture, Epic of the Lovers. These are all just more answers for whatever FrogMaker might have. And I guess FrogMaker's only haste threat, I believe, is Minister of Zealots. Right as I say it, top decks and Minister of Zealots. So we'll be dealing 2 damage here. Razorvine Abomination, yep. Problem is, of course, deals 1 to Fuzz and threatens to kill Fuzz next turn, but next turn Fuzz just untaps, plays Vibrant Rapture in order to kill both of these, or could just play Epic of the Lovers for... oh no. Because beginning of end step, I guess. So yeah, now Fuzz has, like, despite being on 4 life, Fuzz has like so many options. Probably doesn't want to play the Altar because that just results in you maybe dying. Farseek things the deck further, as does Redistricting, and also both of them serve as ramp. Epic, you can just like draw a bunch of cards. Like I think Fuzz's entire deck is just, or like entire hand is just gas. I think Fuzz plays Rapture for X equals 2, kills FrogMaker's board, makes 2 petals, and then probably Farseek. How much mana will that take? That takes 4. Then can Farseek plus Redistricting in order to like ramp the heck up to be able to like shoot FrogMaker with a big Epic of the Lovers if need be. And yep, here's the Vibrant Rapture for X equals 2. And now FrogMaker is forced to be back onto top deck mode. And yep, Redistricting. And Farseek, yep. So now Fuzz accidentally tapped one of their other green sources. They were forced to burn a petal on his Farseek, which is not ideal. But what this does mean is, Fuzz goes up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana, which means they can Epic of Lovers for X equals 10. Still not good enough to just shoot FrogMaker in the face. You need a lot of mana for that, which is also why I feel like these like X spell decks should have like some way to copy their own spells. I know that Brewing Storm is there, but that's like blue red. But I believe there are also other red options. Meanwhile, FrogMaker is just going to play a Razorvine Abomination pass. Wants to always have something to force Fuzz to have an answer. Unfortunately, Fuzz does have the answer in the form of Epic of the Lovers. Might just like make a bunch of like shoot Razorvine Abomination for 2. Oh no, it was gonna first Farseek, but then Epic of the Lovers for a bunch. Shooting Razorvine Abomination for 2. And then discarding Lazer's Altar to draw a card, and then making a bunch of treasures is what I'd imagine, or just shooting face with the rest of the mana. Or actually, since Epic of the Lovers is instant speed, could just wait until Frogmaker's turn. Yeah, just go to end. Wait until Frogmaker's turn. If Frogmaker plays, Frogmaker has a Death Pit Soccer. If Frogmaker plays this, which it looks like Frogmaker is going to play this first main, unless they decide to attack first. No, okay, they're going to attack first with the Razorvine. Probably in response to this, Fuzz is going to Epic of the Lovers to kill it. Yep, tapping out everything for a huge Epic of the Lovers. So it's gonna shoot 4 to face, shoot 2 to the Abomination. I think that was a mistake. I think one of those modes should have been the discard and draw mode. Yeah, because otherwise now Fuzz is in a bind because Fuzz doesn't have an answer to his Death Pit Hawker. And maybe even discard to draw 2, because Epic of Jabaya is really only good against Into the Lion's Den. I mean, it also technically kills the black Contra, but then once that dies, it just goes back to hand, and Frogmaker has access to it next turn, so it doesn't really matter. And if Frogmaker has it plus Woopip Wanderer, you need Epic of Jabaya to be instant speed and exile, which it's not. But yeah, Fuzz just top decks a land and scoops. Unfortunate, but yeah, we're going to game 2. Okay, so we're going into game 2. Looking at these hands, a 2-lander for Frogmaker, which is kind of risky. Yeah, just going to mull that away. Hitting another 2-lander. This one a lot more keepable because it does have Razorvine Abomination. Oh, it doesn't have the green for it, though. Risky. I guess it just has to keep it and hope to get into something. And bottoms the Woopip Wanderer, yeah. Meanwhile, on Fuzz's end, has a Dreadlaw Shaman on too to be able to which basically gives Fuzz access to start drawing cards. Has every single epic except for Epic of Anku in his opening hand. So, just fun things. Doesn't have any acceleration though. That is an issue. Ooh, and there's Return Bokor. With I think Frogmaker maybe not regrets because with a 5-mana card which you have neither of the colors, which you don't have 2 green for, is the right bottom. But Return Bokor does go infinite with this Death Pit's Hawker and that Woopip Wanderer, so Frogmaker's got to be thinking. Yeah, I don't know how good the fetch lands are in Fuzz's deck, because I feel like you want to draw, or at least in this situation, because I feel like you want to draw as many lands as possible. Vacated Bar is not a fetch land, buddy. Yeah, that's not a fetch land. I think Frogmaker was laboring under the impression that no. No. Dude, Vacated Bar is not a fetch, so you can't go Eerie Bayou into Razorvine Abomination. You're just taking them back like, oh gosh golly. But yeah, the Eerie Bayou should go back to library. Why are you putting in hand? Okay, so Frogmaker is shuffling away the Eerie Bayou. Remember to do that. Tapping 3. Which epic is? Fuzz Epic of Jabaya for X equals 1 just to pump up this Dreadlaw Shaman. Not a bad idea. Oh no, getting a basic. Okay. I guess I forgot that Epic of Jabaya did have a ramp mode. That does make sense. And oh god, yeah, I missed that Fuzz drew top deck into Epic of Anku. So Fuzz does, for one beautiful moment, had literally all 4 epics in hand. But yeah, fortunately for FrogMaker, top decked into the forest, so did have the mana to be able to cast Razorbind Abomination. And next turn has the mana to be able to cast Deathpit's Hawker. Also has mana up for Bog Rebirth to be able to bring back this Razorbind Abomination in case of like Fuzz trying to shoot it with Epic of the Lovers here. So Fuzz using Dreadlaw Shaman's trigger to exile Epic of Jabaya and draw Out of Date. And top decks into an Epic of the Lovers. You know, this is a really good stretch of cards. Doesn't have like quite enough mana to make all of these epics like premium, but Epic of the Anku for 1 is just a good card on 5 mana. Epic of the Lovers for 3 is kind of middling, but like doing like Epic of the Lovers make treasure into another epic is a totally fine line. Right now is going to try and out of date the Razorbind Abomination, but in response, FrogMaker is going to have the Bog Rebirth. And so I guess the only question is I think, yeah, FrogMaker makes does FrogMaker make a Saproling or make Razorbind Abomination 3/3? I think 3/3 because it can shoot bigger things. No, okay, Saproling. I think it rarely matters versus Fuzz's deck because like main removal is, other than Out of Date, is Epic of the Lovers, so Fuzz is still going to swing out with the Dreadlaw Shaman. I think FrogMaker just takes that, doesn't really need to block. Could block with the Saproling and then make Razorbind a 3/3, but then I feel like if that was the case, would have just done that earlier. Oh no, is gonna. Really doesn't feel like there's a point to that because putting a +1/+1 counter, I get, and that would have putting a +1. I guess the difference is that if Fuzz had like another Out of Date, would have been able to kill the Razorbind Abomination, but like I don't know. It feels like just having Razorbind Abomination there to be able to like block and potentially kill the Dreadlaw Shaman would have been better there. So yeah, it's going to tap out for Deathpit's Hawker. Just get that board advantage. Actually, I guess that is okay, I guess Deathpit's Hawker is the reason to create a Saproling instead of put a +1/+1 counter on Razorbind Abomination. But it feels like if that was the case, FrogMaker should have just taken the 2 from Dreadlaw Shaman and then sacked the Saproling on his turn. Again, does have another Bog Rebirth up, so if TemporalFuzz decides to Epic of the Lovers here, or actually, Fuzz can Epic of Anku and then just kill both of these, and then FrogMaker has to choose which one to bring back. Probably bring back Deathpit's Hawker at that point, because it's just the bigger creature, but yeah. So, you know, Fuzz is once again going to use Dreadlaw Shaman. The problem is, of course, just it hits your life total not super hard because, you know, epics are kind of a cheatsy way to play a ramp deck or play Bobs in a ramp deck, but it's still losing like 2 life a turn when you don't quite have answers is an issue. So I think Fuzz is probably thinking of like or actually should redistricting first. Did not redistricting first, unfortunately. Epic of Inishtu, interesting, is gonna empty FrogMaker's hand and gain 1 life. Huh. I feel like the board is the more dangerous thing here, not gonna lie. Okay, in response is going to Bog Rebirth on the Razorvine that doesn't do anything. I guess if Razorvine dies this turn, brings it back. I think should have done that on the Death Pits Hawker and then traded with the Dreadlaw. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me from FrogMaker. Can't do that because this is Death Pits Hawker is only sorcery speed. So FrogMaker making misplays left and right here. Fortunately, Fuzz notices that. Speaking of misplays, I think Fuzz should have played redistricting there and then played the fetch land from Grave and then played Epic of Anku for 2. Which would have just been more flexibility. Also would have allowed Fuzz to like stack the triggers so that Fuzz could mill 2 with redistricting and then potentially exile something with Dreadlaw Shaman. Anyways, FrogMaker top decking to Sin Caller. This is a really good top deck, not gonna lie. And swings out for 6 on Fuzz. Fuzz is dead next turn, so needs to use Epic of the Yonku here to clear FrogMaker's board. And without a board and without a hand, it definitely does look dicey for FrogMaker. But FrogMaker does get to draw 3 cards and then could potentially hollow Sin Caller back even if FrogMaker doesn't draw any gas off of the 3 things. Meanwhile, Fuzz is just digging themselves with this Dreadlaw Shaman. I think at a certain point they need to just be like, I have enough gas. I don't need to ding my life anymore. Especially like if they go like, okay, I am going to Epic of Anku for X equals 2, and then Windmill Slam draw 3 cards. I think putting themselves down to 4 life again, just it doesn't make sense. Oh, Epic of Anku's third mode is depending on what Fuzz has in their deck, another reason to play redistricting last turn. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason. I think just attack with the Dreadlaw Shaman and then main 2 just Epic of Anku for X equals 2. Or hell, even X equals 1 and then play redistricting. Actually, X equals 1 play redistricting is not a bad play here. Like X equals 1, just kill FrogMaker's entire board. Redistricting gives you ramp with the Shadowed Pillar and gives you. I personally think that you shouldn't Dreadlaw Shaman more, but it does give you like further fuel for maybe itself, etc. Or actually, no, you have to sack it to play cards from your graveyard. Never mind. Still good, I think, to play redistricting there. But yeah, it's gonna play Epic of Anku for X equals 1. Just wipe both players' boards. FrogMaker gets to draw 3 cards off of that. Oh yeah, actually, and Death Pits Hawker does drain TemporalFuzz for 2. And then, refilling up. Meanwhile, Fuzz is going to play redistricting and then pass. Next turn has the make prey for the Lautrec. Zulev Rights, I'm not sure what it could get here that would be relevant. The only targets that I've seen FrogMaker get are Return Bokor and Arcologize. Arcologize is useless here. Return Bokor is like actually reasonably good in the situation because Fuzz is a control deck which doesn't really have any exile removal. I think FrogMaker doesn't have enough mana to Zulev Rights for Return Bokor here though. So probably the line is play Lautrec, pass. Oh no, is going to Zulev Rights for what? Into the Lion's Den. Interesting. Oh yeah, we saw this last game. I should have remembered. I don't think this is a good line. I think FrogMaker should be trying to put like pressure on Fuzz as Fuzz. Of course, maybe or I guess from FrogMaker's perspective, they were like hoping that Fuzz only had like 1 removal spell, and then was forced to take Make Prey there because otherwise, FrogMaker would just because otherwise Fuzz would just Make Prey into the Lion's Den. But yeah, so Fuzz, so now FrogMaker knows that Fuzz has instant speed removal for Lautrec. Trying Out of Date as another removal spell. This is basically just FrogMaker on their deathbed. So Epic of the Lovers for, let's see, for 5 doesn't really quite get there. Okay, is going to crack the redistricting, grab 3 more lands. That probably gets there. Yep. So next turn has access to Epic of the Lovers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. FrogMaker, like doing Epic of the Lovers for that would basically in 2 turns kill FrogMaker. So FrogMaker top decking into a Sacrificial Bull. Maybe the plan is play Sacrificial Bull, but doesn't have enough green mana to keep up to basically be able to protect it from Epic of the Lovers. I don't know. Like I don't know what FrogMaker's out is here. Like I guess the thought is play 1 threat each turn and then force Fuzz to like burn because of how low on life Fuzz is. Force Fuzz to like burn a single removal spell on each one. So like start by only playing Lautrec this turn. Or no, I was paying 4. Oh yeah, okay. So it's Hollowing Sincaller. Okay, that also works. I honestly think that did FrogMaker play? Yeah, FrogMaker played a land this turn. I think instead of playing the land, should have kept Lautrec in hand and not playing Sacrificial Bull here and tapping out for it. I think is even more of a mistake. But yeah, okay. I guess the point is like they're hoping to draw more cards off the Sincaller, but in response, Fuzz is just going to out of date the Sincaller. FrogMaker draws into a land. And Fuzz is content to pass, and then like Epic of the Lovers Bull for God knows how much. Okay, just going to end. Yeah, makes sense because if Frog, but I think the problem is you don't want to let Frog untap there because, yeah, actually I think that was a mistake because letting Frog untap there lets Frog like exile a bunch of lands from grave in response to grow Sacrificial Bull, and then also can sack it to draw cards and gain life. So I think that not just Epic of the Loversing the Sacrificial Bull when FrogMaker was tapped out was actually a mistake, especially since Fuzz has a second Epic of the Lovers, so they don't have to like go all in on the first one. They can keep like, because you know that FrogMaker's only hasty, or like you know that FrogMaker's only hasty threat is the Minister of Zealots. So you just play Epic of the Lovers for X equals 4 if you want to play it safe. But yeah, letting FrogMaker untap is just bad here. So in response to the Sacrificial Bull trigger is going to Epic of the Lovers, but then for how much? Like needs to declare targets. Because Fuzz needs to assign at least 4 damage to the bull. Yeah. 4 to the bull, 3 to face. And then in response, FrogMaker exiles one of the pillars and then cracks the bull to draw a card and gain a life. So yeah, just gains 1 life, draws a card. Unfortunately, hits another land. I think FrogMaker's been playing pretty well here, but just getting flooded. So yeah, just forced to pass. Meanwhile, I think Fuzz, if you're Fuzz, you just play you play Sprawling Coils, tap out for Dreadlaw Shaman, and then hold up Epic of the Lovers, right? Like there's really no reason not to. Like, and if Fuzz's worry is, oh, what if Dreadlaw Shaman kills me? It's a May. Like can just use it as a bear to start chipping down at FrogMaker's life total. And yep, gonna cast a Dreadlaw Shaman. Ooh, FrogMaker top decking into the Woopip Bruiser. This will let FrogMaker kill the Dreadlaw Shaman. Fuzz will have the Epic of the Lovers in response. Or not in response, but like, actually, yeah, can Fuzz can Epic of the Lovers in response to the ETB trigger, right? So in response to the ETB trigger, kill Whoopip Bruiser, and then I don't know how that resolves. No, I mean, what is FrogMaker doing? FrogMaker can do that. I don't know what FrogMaker's on about, but Whoopip Bruiser can give Dreadlaw Shaman -X/-X, and then but in response to the ETB trigger, but why is FrogMaker not targeting with this? Like I think maybe FrogMaker is forgetting that Whoopip Bruiser counts for greatest power. So Fuzz is going to go ham on this Epic of the Lovers. So kill the Whoopip Bruiser, kill the Saproling. Ouch. So yeah, 5 to phase, 1 to the Bruiser. Does the trigger stay on the? I think the enters it, but yeah, the ETB trigger stays on the stack. So I think, yeah, but I get doing it in response to the ETB trigger. No, but then that's not even. I think the when you do makes it so that if like this doesn't make any sense because I guess Fuzz. I don't know. This trigger's weird. I guess Fuzz now just Epic of Javayas the Dreadlaw Shaman for a bunch and then destroys into the Lion's Den to get Make Prey back. Okay, I guess does want a Dreadlaw Shaman to draw something. Yeah, I do think Dreadlaw Shamaning here would be a mistake because 5 life is right about where you can feel like comfortable. And yep, is gonna Epic of Jabaya for Jesus. 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So probably pump Dreadlaw Shaman up to an 8/8 and then kill into the Lion's Den. Unless Fuzz has like more basics in his deck, I think grabbing those just to like tin and get better draws is also acceptable. But pumping Dreadlaw up to an 8/8 is not bad. Yeah, gonna buff Dreadlaw up to an 8/8, kill into Lion's Den, grab back Make Prey, which means that FrogMaker's next threat is moot. Unfortunately, FrogMaker can chump with the Saproling, so it's not as, or I guess, yeah, it doesn't have the mana to kill the Saproling. So FrogMaker's gonna have to chump with the Saproling, which means that Fuzz doesn't have, and FrogMaker, what? FrogMaker isn't gonna chump with the Saproling? Oh god, hits Whoopip Wanderer off the top. That's really good. So taps 5, plays a swamp, has enough to. Oh, okay. So FrogMaker kept the Sapling around in case of a top decked Epic of Jabaya. So Whoopip Wanderer here is good because like it creates another chump blocker in response to Fuzz Make Praying it, which is just fine. Yeah, I guess just swing out with the Saproling. No real reason not to. Because I guess the reason not to would be, well, I guess if Fuzz top decks into another Epic of the Lovers, you're kind of just dead anyways. Or like Epic of Lovers or Epic of Anku, you're just kind of dead anyways. So might as well just play to your, why are you, what? Okay, well that's Epic of the Lovers. So can just kill FrogMaker for 1. Yep. So it seems as though we won't be getting that game 3 despite it being 1-1 because Fuzz needs to go. But that was a really cool set. I think both of these decks are super sick. I'm excited to see more from them. Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.